Welcome to the PanchaTANTRA Programming. This is the Level 2 camp, and we are going to help you prepare for this. So let's look at how the Level 2 is going to be. So in Level 1, children created one very short, brief story per camp. They were building a very set of specific um, coding skills along with the other aspects. Now in Level 2, they're going to do one long story. This is going to be created across a set of camps. We could go up, 6, 8, 10 camps. The story is pretty long. It has about 10 scenes or more, and there are going to be multiple characters. So it's got many dialogues between the characters. There's going to be a lot of narration too. There will be motion, and basically a very well created long animated story is the objective of Level 2 camp. It's potentially going to be recorded and dubbed in multiple language. The first one, of course, it is going to be in English. Now we are going to do multiple quizzes, which is used to revise the concepts learned by children, and many new topics are introduced as part of integrated learning program. We also are looking to inculcate methods so that they learn to reflect on what they are learning. They find ways to record it on their own, in their own ways, and therefore be able to retain these concepts and be able to revise them for themselves. So we're going to look at some of the best practices to be able to do such a long story. One of the important things is naming convention. Now make sure that the scenes are named properly so that they can be identified. Whenever you're recording dialogues, so whenever I'm using the word you here, it means you with the children, right? So for easy identification, make sure there is scene number and then some starting words of the dialogue, so that's very quickly you know which dialogue where it's going to come in. Wherever you're touching the costumes, wherever children are going to do the editing of any costume, make sure that first of all they are making a duplicate of the existing costume before starting to edit it, and then they should be named appropriately. When there's going to be a lot of usage of broadcast message and receive message, so again make sure that the broadcast messages also use scene number and then message number, and it doesn't become one message 1 to message 100. Let it be broken up in scenes so that debugging is easier. Now, when you're building this long story, we should be able to do it modular enough so that you can replay a particular scene, complete it. You can start a story. So imagine you're in scene 5. You don't want to every time start playing it from scene 1. So to make this happen, one of the simplest things to follow is that on the green flag, don't write a lot of code. It should just say switch backdrop, first backdrop, so that now you're in scene 5, you just change it to scene 5 and you go on, right? So that is all the code which should happen on green flag, and rest of the story should all happen scene wise, right? So when backdrop switches to scene 1, all the coding required for that scene should happen. When backdrop switches to scene 2, all the code corresponding to scene 2 should happen. Now we are going to be introducing a few new topics as part of the story, and the first thing is concept of blocks. Now these are user-defined blocks, which is basically functions, reusable code in any programming language. Now one key thing to remember is when we are creating these functions here, the blocks here, these are not global, they are per character. So what we're going to do is quickly move over to Scratch and learn to create these blocks and also see how to pass parameters to them. Okay, so we will continue using this project and I'm just going to start to name it. Now, please remember, ensure that we are saving our story after every little bit of work which has happened. Otherwise, we may just hang the system or something may happen or we may mess it up and we will lose a lot of work. So again, make sure you always save your story. So save the name of the story is learning blocks. Then we want to save it as learning blocks scene 1 start or work in progress. And then when we're going to finish it, I'm going to say end. Okay, so we are going to learn how to make a multi-scene story for sure. I'm going to copy this again. And we're going to learn how to make reusable code, that is my blocks. Okay, so on the code, we are saying switch backdrop to title page, and we are also playing some music here. Now what we may want to do is actually we may want to make this music here. So when the backdrop switches to title page, that is when we want the music to come in. Now what we're going to do, we are going to keep this as is, play the charkha. Now let's look at the bear. So we had coded up the bear and we had said that when backdrop switches to jungle, the bear is going to walk. Now say we have 4 or 5 scenes, and each of the scenes we want to see bear walking. Okay, so now that means the bear walking code, that is something which we are going to reuse again and again. So we are going to create a reusable block for this piece of code. So let's look at this coding section. These are the coding blocks. Here, my blocks, this allows us to create our user-defined functions. So we're going to click on make a block, and the name of the block is walk my bear. Okay, so you can see there are different ways in which you can add parameters, and we will come to it soon. And I'm going to click on run without screen refresh. It just makes it more efficient. It will execute the entire code without refreshing it, but don't worry about getting too much into detail about screen refresh right now. Okay, now we're going to define walking bear. Now what we're going to do is in walking my bear, we are going to pick up code from here. Right, so what is walk my bear going to do? 25 times is going to, in the loop, it's going to switch costume, it is going to move next steps, and it is going to wait for 0.2 seconds. Okay, now you see the moment we have defined this block, you can see a function walk my bear added to this panel. Now I'm going to pull this here and replace this code here. So when the backdrop switches to jungle, we are saying position the bear here, show the bear, and then walk my bear. After it has done that, I'm going to continue adding this code, that is switch backdrop to end scene and hide the bear. Okay, so let's play this story. Okay, now what we're going to do is see how to really use this reusable block again and again. Now I'm going to add another backdrop, and I want the bear to continue walking. So it was walking in the jungle, and now I want to walk it in this forest. Okay, so this is the next scene coming up, forest. Okay, so now in this code, instead of switching backdrop to end scene right away, we are going to say, we're going to go to loop, and we're going to say switch backdrop to jungle, or it was forest. See, this is how we tend to forget if we don't title properly. So yeah, this is a forest. Come back here. So switch backdrop to forest. Now in forest, I am again want to make the bear walk. So I'm going to bring the bear again here. Okay. So I'm going to set the positions, and then I'm going to again walk my bear. Isn't that cool and simple? And after that walk, I'm going to switch backdrop. So let's play and watch this. And at this point, I also want to save. So scene 1 is done. Now we are doing scene 2 actually. So I'm saving scene 1 is done. Look at how elegantly the bear is walking. Yeah, isn't it wonderful? So we do have the now bear continuing to walk. The landscape of the jungle has changed, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's enhance this code. Now I want that when it comes to this greeny forest, we want the bear to let's make it walk faster. Okay, so basically if you see to walk faster, the two things we can do, we can make it move by more steps, and we can reduce the weight further, right? So basically what we're saying, and if I do these changes right here, what will happen? We will be giving it a fixed speed, whichever scene, wherever we use walk my bear, we will be forcing it to use these parameters. So we want to be able to pass parameters to this function. So we're going to edit this function. So I right clicked on it, okay, and I'm pressing edit. Now to walk my bear, I'm going to give it a number which is going to be the speed. Okay, so I just click on it, and so I'm going to give it speed. Let me say move. Okay, so how much do we move by? And I'm going to give it a weight. Sorry, it's not drag and drop. That's what I'm trying to do. So it is just click on. Okay, so it's saying move by how much and weight how much. Okay, now you see wherever this function is called, there are two parameters added, and here we are going to move by 10 steps here and weight here. So now in the first one, walk my bear, I'm going to say you move by 10 steps and wait for 0.3 seconds. Here we're saying that you walk 20 steps and you wait only 0.1 seconds. Okay, so let's give it a run. Yeah, so can we see our bear is walking faster using the same function. Now, one thing to see, we may want to also be able to play with this repeat, how many times it walks. So it is doing slower, we may want to do it for longer number of times, things like this. So basically this variable also we want. So this is a revision for you. So as I do it, maybe you want to go along with me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit and I'm going to add one more variable to C and loop times. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. Now you see there's one more variable here, loop times. So the first time we are looping 25. The second time, say I'm looping 20. Okay. So let's watch it on big screen. So this is our bear walking leisurely, nice and slow. And here it is walking still slightly faster. Yeah. Okay, so we have learned how to create user-defined blocks and how to use them and how to give them parameters. So these are the things which children will be using a lot in this story. So it could be a little bit confusing. We will try to make it easier for them because they are going to do a lot of different blocks. Thank you so much. See you in the camp.